Okay, so this is the second part of our revenue receipt cycle. So here we will continue the discussion for the control procedures for the shipping department. Okay, so for the shipping department, so these are the following policies and procedures that should be applied. Okay, first, shipping department should be independent of billing, cashier, and accounting departments because in this case, shipping will also be the department to authorize if delivery will be made to the customer once the documents are complete and with proper authorization from other departments as well. Okay. Another is goods should only be shipped when the sales order are properly approved, okay, as mentioned. Okay, another is shipping documents or bill of lading should be prepared by the shipping department upon the shipments of goods to the customer. So here it specifies the amount, the quantity, and the type of inventory that is packed and that will be shipped to the customer, which is in accordance with the sales order. Okay, so a bill of lading. So this is a formal contract between the seller and the shipping company or the carrier to transport the goods to the customer. So it establishes a legal ownership and responsibility for the assets in transit. So this is for the bill of lading. On the other hand, okay, so this is between the company and the shipping or the shipping company or the carrier. May it be through land, sea, or air. Okay, so because in this case, once the inventory is in transit and it was lost or damaged, so the question will be who will shoulder the expenses? Is it the company who sells and ships the inventory to the customer, or the shipping company who handles the shipment while the inventory is in transit? So that's how important bill of lading is. Okay. So inclusion of packing slip also with the shipment goods is advised. Okay, because in this case, packing slip will support, okay, or will be used as a supporting document of what the contents, okay, of the shipped goods is. Okay, so this is also to make sure that what is ordered is packed and is shipped to the customers. Another is packing slip. Okay, this lists the items to be shipped as mentioned. This will also include the recipient or the name of the customer who will receive the delivery, the amount due, any shipping and handling charges depending on the type of shipping terms. Okay, is it FOB shipping destination or FOB shipping point? FOB destination, I mean, or FOB shipping point. Okay. Another is the shipment control number. So this is also used by the buyer to track their delivery, okay, while it is still in transit. Okay, so another is the packing slip will ultimately travel with the goods, okay, as mentioned, okay, up to the customer. Next, the shipping document should be reviewed and reconciled with the sales invoice to make sure that all goods shipped are properly billed, meaning whatever was ordered, the correct amount of due from the customer is recorded, and that will also be the amount that will be billed and collected from the customers. Okay, next is goods shipped should be counted and checked carefully to minimize shipment goods that are not ordered to. This is also very important because the expense of returning on the part of the seller and the buyer is sometimes expensive, and it will take a long time before this can be completely returned and replaced. Okay. Another is once the goods are transferred to the carrier, the shipping clerk should record the shipment in the shipping log, which includes the date of the shipment, the name of the carrier, the date when it should arrive to the customer, as well as what it contains in the package. Okay, so those are the different policies and procedures for the shipping department. So we will proceed with the next department, which is the billing department. Okay, so in the billing department, we have the following policies and procedures. Okay, first is the billing department should be independent of the credit and cashiers department, because in this case, they are the one who will send the amount due or even communicate with the customers with the collection of their accounts. Okay, so that's why they should be separated or segregated from the credit and cashiers department, because again, credit department is the one who authorizes the extension or the approval of the credit to the customers, and cashiers department is the one who receives the payment from the customers. Okay, so that's why it should be segregated. Another is sales invoices that are consecutively numbered should be prepared by the billing department for all goods shipped to customers. This is for the purpose of controlling, okay, the invoices or sales invoices, meaning there should be no one transaction that will be recorded twice, okay, to avoid such. Okay, another is a sales invoice should be accounted for as well for the purpose of control. All voided sales invoice should be retained. Okay, so that's why, or the reason for this is it will not be processed. Okay, because it was voided already. Okay, and it should not be made for any fraudulent action to embezzle or to collect from the customers which were not approved, okay, of their credit, and so on. Okay, another is sales invoices should be properly or should be prepared only once or when the sales order and shipping documents have been matched. Okay, so this is very important. That's why, if you could remember, there should be a copy of sales order for the different departments, and it should be matched before a sales invoice will be prepared by the billing department to collect from or to be sent to the customers, okay, to inform them of their accounts due. Okay, another is all sales invoices should be examined for credit terms which will be granted, as well as the quantities billed versus the quantities ordered, okay, to make sure that they match. Okay, another is all sales invoices should be checked for proper prices, extensions, and footings, okay, in the records. Next, sales summary should be prepared as well, okay, to determine the amounts of the accounts from the different customers, and to control also and this will also be matched later on in the accounting records if they are reconciled. Okay, next is the sales summary is the most important customer data, because in this case it will include information about the customers from the customer master files, which includes the details of the order, their payment terms, as well as the transaction data such as the sales figure. So this is how important sales summary is. Okay. Next, there should be a pre-numbered credit memos for the goods returned by the customers, and it should be prepared and matched with the receiving reports, meaning pre-numbered again will control the returned inventory or returned goods, so that it will be accounted for as well as the receiving reports, meaning whatever is contained in the credit memo is also the same with what is received, okay, in the return of the goods from the customers. Billing statements should be regularly sent out to customer um, to inform them of their due dates and the amount to be paid for such period. Okay, another is the accounts receivable subsidiary ledger should be reconciled periodically with the controlling account in the general ledger to avoid any discrepancies, okay, from the balances. Monthly statements should also be reviewed and mailed by the company employee who is independent of the accounts receivable and cashier. Because here, the statements, the purpose of this is to avoid misstating the amount to be collected from the customers, to avoid fraud or theft of cash to be collected. Another is the accounts receivable write-offs should be approved by a company employee. Usually, this is the task of the treasurer, okay, who is independent of the cash receipts again and accounting. So again, this is very important, a segregation of duties, okay, because in this case, this is the approval or the authority function. So again, it should be separated or segregated from the custodian of cash, and the recording of the transactions. Next, an aging of accounts receivable schedule should be prepared also monthly by the company employee who is again independent of billing and cash receipts. So this schedule will help them to identify if there are overdue accounts or there has been a delinquent customers already. Okay, so again, it should be made by an employee who is independent from billing, okay, to avoid any misstatements. Okay, another, in the absence of billing department, the billing function should be handled by the general accounting department. Okay, in this case, if there is no billing department, okay, that is present in the entity, so this function can be given to the general accounting instead. Okay, so those are the different policies and procedures under the billing department. Okay, so we will proceed with the next department, which is the mail room. Okay, so here, these are the different the policies and procedures that should be applied. Okay, first, mails containing collections should be opened by a receptionist who is also independent of the shipping, billing, and accounting department. So again, because in this case, they are the ones who will check the collections. Okay, so again, custody of cash should be separated from those of the approval and recording departments. Next, envelopes containing customers' payments are usually accompanied by a remittance advice, okay, to make sure that what's inside the envelope, okay, is the same amount, okay, in the remittance advice for matching and controlling purposes. Another is remittance advices contain information needed to service individual customers' accounts. So this includes the payment date as well, the account number, the amount paid, and the customer check number. Okay, so these are the other details that we can see from the remittance advices. Okay, next, checks received from the customer should be endorsed immediately upon opening the mail to avoid theft, okay, of the cash. A list of receipts or remittance list will also be prepared to log all the checks received from the customers, okay, to control also the collection. Okay, next is one copy of the list of receipts will be sent together with the checks to the cashier who deposits the collection in the bank. Okay, another copy will also be for the remittance advices to the accounts receivable department. Okay, and the third copy will go to the employees responsible to reconcile cash receipts and deposits. So this is how copies, okay, of the list of receipt remittance, okay, should be distributed to the different departments, okay, to match and to control the collection and deposit of the collections. Okay, another is the collections received should be forwarded promptly to the cashier, okay, so that the cashier will deposit the collections within the day to avoid theft of cash. Next, the person opening the mail should not prepare the bank deposit and should not have the access to the accounts receivable or the general ledger. Again, this is the segregation of duties. The person who has the custody of cash from the person who deposits it and records such transactions. Okay, so those are the different policies and procedures for the mail room.